I was recently asked to do a review on an electric composter, and I just absolutely love this. I have looked at these for a little while, and I want to share with you the Lomi electric composter. It's a little different than the other ones, and I'll show you why. And then I'm also going to show you some of the things that you can put into the Lomi composter and the end product, as well as how much electricity it takes to use it. So I like to make my own soil for my gardens. I have a container garden, a square foot garden, and I like to use high quality compost in these gardens along with peat moss and vermiculite. So I'm very happy about the end product that I've been getting from the Lomi. For my garden, I can use something called a Lomi pod, which will add microorganisms to the end product of the Lomi. I have these little compost tumblers all through my yard. I really need about 10 of these because of how much yard waste I have. Well, it's really garden waste. And then I also have been using my food scraps in here, but now I don't have to use my food scraps. I can use those in my Lomi. Now I will show you what comes with it at the end of the video because there are a lot of other things that are much more interesting I'd like to share with you first. Now what makes this a lot different than other electric composters is that it has 3 modes. And so since I'm a gardener, I love the grow mode. Now this chart here you can refer to and you can stop it and read it if you like. But basically all 3 modes can take your organic food waste. However, when you start to get into things like plastics, meat scraps, these kind of things, you'll want to switch over to the Lomi approved mode or the Eco Express mode, which is the default. And I'll get into that here in just a minute and show you the results of each mode. One thing I do want to add here is that a lot of times when I do a review on a product, I get probably 50 to 100 requests a year to do product reviews. I don't do a lot of them only because a lot of them I just will not fit into my everyday life. But when I'm given a product to do a review, you might notice when my video starts, up in the left corner is a little banner that will roll out. And this is because I have disclosed to YouTube that I have a product that was given to me by a third party at no charge. It says includes paid promotion up here, but I'm not being paid to do this, but I was given the product. However, if you decide that you would like one of these, I will leave my link down below the video in the description area, as well as pinned in the comment section below the video. And that way you can head on over to the website, check out the sales, and I will receive a commission if you do. So I really appreciate your support if you decide to go that route. So now back to the Lomi, and I will show you here. We're going to go into the grow mode, which is the first one I did because as a gardener, I really wanted to test this out. So I put all of my food scraps in there and some tea bags, which I think you're just supposed to put the leaves and not the bag itself. But anyway, it did fine. You fill up the little bin up to the fill line. It's about 75% full. And then with this unit came what are called Lomi pods, and that's just a little tablet of microorganisms, probiotics that you can add to the cycle and put a little bit of water in there, about 50 milliliters. You'll want to put the bucket back in to the composter, line up your arrows, and now we need to turn it on grow mode. Now this can be a little bit tricky. You just hold down the button for 3 seconds, release it, and that puts it over to what's called the Lomi approved mode. Hold it back down, 3 more seconds. It switches over to grow mode. Then give it a quick push, and there it starts on grow mode. Grow mode is the longest cycle that they have because it's slower in order to preserve the nutrients in the end product. So I usually run it overnight. I wanted to test the sound, and it really wasn't very loud. It cycled on, cycled off. It's about the equivalent, I would say, to a refrigerator running when the compressor kicks on, kicks off, or maybe a dishwasher. But I didn't want to have it, next to the bedrooms or anything. But it turned out beautiful. I was so happy. I never thought I'd be so excited about dirt. So anyway, very, very happy. It did not smell at all. and just nice and light and fluffy. So what they recommend doing is with the end product, you'll want to add 1 part of the loamy dirt to about 10 parts of your soil. So I like to have a little bucket of pre-mixed soil for my container garden. So when I go to replant something, I can add some fresh soil into where something else was planted before to give it a little more nutrients and plant something else. Now you can certainly keep the electric composter on your countertop. It's not real big, but I have this little compost bin that is probably half the size of the electric composter, and I prefer to use that. I think it's a 1-gallon bin, and I put the little bread tie bags in here, so that works out fine for me, and I have to keep the little carbon filter replaced on it too. But that's why you'll see me emptying some bags into the Lomi bin. So now I will show you the Lomi approved mode, and in here this is the one you want to use if you are using it for plastics, and they have to be Lomi approved plastics. I'll show you a list here that you can check out and search anywhere to see where you can buy them. This batch turned out great. I was real happy with it. Also, the bag that the Lomi came in can go straight into the Lomi as well, and you can make some dirt with that. Now, whenever I have something that's I did not use a Lomi pod in, I will just sprinkle that out throughout my yard, around the trees, or, in a little bare spot in the yard or something like that. So this is a list of the different types of plastics that Lomi approves that you can use in the composter. And I thought at first, oh, these are going to be hard to find, they're going to be expensive, but then I found a brand called Repurpose. And I noticed that was sold on Amazon, but it was a better price even at Whole Foods, or I have a local grocery store called Food Lion, and they carried that brand. So that's what I picked up to do this demonstration for the video. And oh, I wish I'd had this when my kids were young and I was having birthday parties all the time. So, but oh well, I still can use this for times when I don't want to have a lot of cleanup, maybe around the holidays if we want to, not break out the silver and just use plastic. That would be great. So now this is the Eco Express mode. This is where you can use all kind of different things, like I had some old cheese you just saw me put in here in this batch, and it did great. Now this is something where I am going to put things like peanut shells in here, along with some meat scraps. I have an old hot dog bun. I made some giblet gravy, and I used the neck bones from some chicken to make it this time. And so those were soft bones. You can't put hard bones in there, but you could put like fish bones, and like I was testing here, the chicken neck bones, and some old leftover brown rice. And this turned out nice and fluffy, and I didn't use the Lomi pod in here. Now you can use Lomi pods in every single cycle if you want to, but you get about, I think, 45 with the unit. So I'm using those just for my garden, my container garden. And so here was the end product from the Eco Express. It looks really, really nice. I'm just so happy with the end product. And I just used this right out in our yard. We have a little spot we had to dig up over the summer to get to some piping issues, the plumbing, and so we're going to repair that this spring. So I'm going to just throw some of this the Eco Express mode out here, or maybe the Lomi approved modes. Whenever I run those, I'll just toss that dirt right out here. I'm probably going to run 1 cycle with the Lomi pod a week for my container garden, unless I decide I need more. So I wanted to check to see how much electricity the Lomi took in order to run a cycle. And so I checked out their website, and they said usually anywhere from about 0.6 to 1 kilowatt per hour. And in my area, we are charged just a little over 11 cents per kilowatt hour. And so I got a little meter, and I decided to test out each cycle and see just how much energy it was using. So I turned it on, and it started taking up the energy there. And this particular meter, you can get them on Amazon. I'll leave a link to my Amazon store below in the description area as well, where you can find it there. This will calculate the total amount of kilowatts per hour used. So we came up usually anywhere from 0.8 to about 0.96, and I ran the 3 different modes. So nothing was really too high, and after calculating everything on what we are charged in my area, we pretty much determined it was around 10 cents regardless of what cycle we were using, because I think the grow mode, even though it runs a long time, I don't think it uses as much heat, so it doesn't draw as much energy, obviously. I was pleasantly surprised, and it was not very expensive to run. Okay, so now the end of the video, I'll just show you what came with the Lomi. They gave you an instruction manual, a cord. It's real easy to set up. They'll give you a pack of the Lomi pods. I think there's 45 in there, and I don't use them with every cycle, even though you can, depending on, what you want to do with your end product. And then they gave some charcoal filters and this little sticker here that you can put right on your garbage can that says this garbage is free of food waste. So this is 2 bags of the activated charcoal, the little electric cord that goes right here in the back. I love the sleek design. It looks really nice. Now in the back, this is where you'll put your charcoal, and you just loosen those wing nuts, pull out your little carbon compartment there, and we'll pour in the charcoal. This is activated charcoal. They say you need to change this about every 3 to 6 months depending on your usage, and it can be a little dusty, so I put a little paper plate there underneath it to fill it up. And we'll put the wing nuts right back on there with your fingers. You don't need a special tool or anything, and pop it right back in the back and put the vent on. And then there is another compartment that you'll put the carbon in, and this, it just keeps the smell down in your house. You don't want to run this without some kind of filtration. So unlock the top, and then over here to the right is the compartment for some more carbon. Now this is a little bit of a smaller compartment, and we'll unlock that, and we can fill it up too with some more of the activated charcoal. And there you go. It is so easy to use, and I do hope that if you are thinking about getting one of these, that you'll head on over to their website using my link. And I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Y'all have a beautiful day.